myself, Max McGillivray of Beanstalk Global. AgrigateOne, true to their roots. Today, we're doing a very special broadcast, and just to set the scene for it, we're very, what's the word I'm looking for? We're very protective of our brand. And we get a lot of requests as to companies coming to us to look to promote themselves and their services. And actually, everyone, we turn quite a lot of those down. There's nothing wrong with them, but we're going in a certain direction, and we only want to be associated with companies and brands and services that are also going in the same direction as us, doing good. And one of those companies that we're actually very proud and very positive to promote is a company called AgrigateOne. And just to say again, their logo, or one of their logos, true to their roots. So AgrigateOne, they're down-to-earth people with up-to-date technology. They're all about shining a light on every stage of the fresh produce supply chain, ensuring transparency for growers and buyers. When you cultivate a landscape of trust, you can reap the rewards. And we want today to use this broadcast for you to discover this and new ways to grow and how to grow with AgrigateOne. So let's get two of the key individuals in from AgrigateOne so you can find out more about them. Greg, Van, can you just come on in? And whilst they're just coming in, when I was doing the research on AgrigateOne, it's fascinating when you look at the numbers, and gents, you'll be able to help me confirm this, that you're working with over 15,000 hectares of farmland currently. You've handled over 300 million kilos of processed fruit, and you work over 200 target markets. Greg, would that be right? Would that be a good summary initially of AgrigateOne in your reach?
Yeah, no, it is. We do about 15,000 hectares across the different geographies. We have a lot of target regions or target markets that we track the produce to. So Wian, who sits in the UK, can also elaborate a little bit more on how much we do outside of South Africa too.
Excellent. Before we get to that, Greg, just introduce yourself, because I rudely didn't get you set up so that you could tell the world who you are and what your relationship is with AgrigateOne. Go for it, Greg.
Perfect. Thanks, Max. Yeah, so I'm the CEO and founder of AgrigateOne. I grew up on a citrus farm in the Limpopo Valley region of South Africa. I started this business, as I've said to you before, to get my dad to stop complaining. So, I worked in logistics, in the unit economics of logistics, so a lot to do with the pricing and revenue management side. And we saw kind of a need or a use case within the logistics space, in the perishable space. And coming from a farming family and farming being in my blood, I was desperate to get back into agriculture in some way. And I love technology, and I love the efficiency technology can bring to the space. And I decided one day to leave a corporate career. I was working for a multinational, but based out of Copenhagen, and I left the multinational and started the startup in September 2018.
Excellent. And what I love about your model is I've always been taught that if you could be niche in an area and crowd it, you're going to make great success, and also you can do good. Van, would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, if you just look at the way the world's going at the moment with food shortages and the way populations are growing, that any good that you can do from the agricultural space, whether that's growing new produce, is always going to benefit everyone around the world. And it's things that you want to do more efficiently. And I think the nice thing about this industry is that people always have a soft spot for farmers. They appreciate the work that they do, and farmers always feel that they don't get potentially the financial rewards that they deserve for the hard work that they do. So it's really cool to be involved in that. And if we can provide solutions and technology that makes that more efficient, yeah, it definitely puts a smile on my face.
Excellent. Well done. And just introduce yourself to our global audience as well, please.
Sure. So, Max, my name's Wian Potgieter, and I'm based in London in the UK, and I'm a director and one of the first employees to start working with Greg and the team. So I've been involved since 2019. And yeah, funnily enough, I've gone the opposite. I've come from a software and technology background where I worked in financial services. and I've now switched over to the agricultural industry. And ironically is I love farming, I love everything about farming, but I'm probably terrible at it. So from the technical side is a great way to get involved in the agricultural industry. And I think Greg mentioned earlier how he started the business to get his dad to stop complaining. And that really resonated with me because my old man bought a farm a bit later in his career. And since he started running it, he hasn't stopped complaining about the prices he's received for his pears. So I think that's something that generally resonates with everyone within the team.
Excellent. Well done. And guys, I think the easiest way to again set this up, there's a marketing expression that I always use about why, care, and share. The three of us can wax lyrical about AgrigateOne, but what would be really good is to hear from your client bank as to how AgrigateOne have created solutions for some of the problems that they've got, and also what I really want to get over is the authenticity of you as a business. So I think we've got some videos to run of your client bank. Is that okay if we run them?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Excellent. Okay, let's run them and see what you think of what your clients say of you on the back of this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
That's willing to take your hand and walk the path with you, as AgrigateOne has done with us. I think that's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
It's quite a seamless integration between AgrigateOne and the farm system, and in terms of the whole data aspect that they provide in, and the data intelligence at the end of the day for forward thinking and planning has been very beneficial for us at the end of the day.
I can highly recommend AgrigateOne. They are a dynamic team and on the right track to becoming a market leader in the fruit industry.
What problems were you facing before you guys met AgrigateOne?
Well, Reg, there was quite a few problems, but I think one of the main problems that I saw in the industry and where we are was one of the things was transparency in the logistics chain, and one big problem was also data accuracy. So we try and do our best to try and get it from the farm into the pack house, and then into cold store, and then obviously into a container. So that's one of the big things. If we don't manage that whole chain correctly and you can say meticulously, then at the end of the day the result is a bad price. It can just be due to the cold chain being broken at one place. That cold chain being broken, it has a massive effect on the fruit 13 weeks after it's been shipped. So at the end of the day, if you lose €1 a carton, I mean over 2.5 million cartons, that adds up. So for us, it's to mitigate our risk by trying to manage the cold chain effectively, and that's pretty much it. We've been walking quite a nice road with AgrigateOne since the day that they've been testing. It's one of the biggest things for me was it's young and highly skilled individuals that's working for the company, and it's refreshing to work with a partner in the tech industry that offers you support no matter what. To be able to get on the phone and chat to Reg, tell them this is what I want, this is what we're planning, let's try and implement it, and then they get to it. For us, it's literally adding values, and that's definitely one of the things that Aggregate has given us. I mean, Greg and his team, one of the things that resonated with me is Greg and them have a vision to help and empower the farmer. So to give the farmer a bit more, you can say, leverage on his side, that they can obtain the best price as possible. Walking this journey with Aggregate, it's been that we're at that point where they understand everything of us, from production to marketing and sales. So if someone is there that's willing to take your hand and walk the path with you, as AgrigateOne has done with us, I think that's definitely a force to be reckoned with. Farming isn't the farming we know 50 years ago isn't the same as that we are seeing today. If you are a farmer and you're not empowering yourself with a tech firm or a software firm, I'm sorry to say the road isn't looking so clear, the future isn't looking that bright, because you are going to have to partner up with someone that is looking at your data, that is making sure you are making the correct management decisions, because with the data you need to make good management decisions, and that's what we've been able to do with the information that Aggregate has been giving us.
Jazz, Limpopo Citrus has obviously been a client of AgrigateOne for a couple of years now. I think you were one of the first producer exporters to adopt the platform. But what made you feel like AgrigateOne was the right partner for you in this journey?
Wian, to be brutally honest, Aggregate was the only platform available to have provided this kind of platform and system. So there's no one else around. We just had to take the plunge and jump into it and back Aggregate, and proved to be a beneficial partnership.
What has been like the best part of the experience working with AgrigateOne?
It's your client service from Aggregate. I mean, there's never a problem. If anything needs to be sorted out, it gets done pretty quickly. And there's always someone online to talk to or get it done. I think a lot of these other companies, the mishap has been that client aspect. You go through a chatbot and you never quite get anywhere. But I think Aggregate, you still have that person, that contact that you can chat to and get any issues resolved as quickly as possible. It's quite a seamless integration between AgrigateOne and the farm system. And in terms of the whole data aspect that they provide and the data intelligence at the end of the day for forward thinking and planning has been very beneficial for us at the end of the day. And that's what I'd recommend AgrigateOne in terms of going forward, just with the total aspect and the bigger picture that they're painting at the end of the day, for one to think a bit more smart in terms of your planning going forward. Thanks to Aggregate.
What problems were Peter facing before you met AgrigateOne?
We were looking for a BI system to have live data and being able to trace it, and a system that will eliminate duplication of work and that can provide real-time visibility and transparency for all stakeholders involved in retail. In order to make good sales decisions, one has to be able to see the full picture, and AgrigateOne combines a lot of data sources to one platform, which enables us to make well-informed decisions. AgrigateOne is based on a strong farming background and therefore understands the dynamics of agriculture. They provide great flexibility and is more adaptable to the food industry compared to existing systems.
What's the best part of working with AgrigateOne?
24/7 availability of assistance and quick solutions. I can highly recommend AgrigateOne. They are a dynamic team and on the right track to becoming a market leader in the fruit industry.
Would you recommend us to any of your friends in this industry, and kind of why would you recommend AgrigateOne and the people that work at AgrigateOne?
Well, for sure, because you've taken just such a load off our shoulders. So, I would recommend you to anyone, non-biased. There are so many companies, but every company belongs to some or other company or industry, but you guys are biased. So, I trust all your information and I trust your sources.
That's great to hear. That is what we try, and we also try bring in people that have kind of been in all areas of the industry. So people who are good at logistics, people who are good at maybe more people skills, and then those who are focused more on like data science. And so we don't want to bring in someone who's just an industry specialist in citrus, for instance, and only focused on the grower. So that's great feedback. Thank you very much. AgrigateOnes is a one of our bests, and we're very excited for the season to come. And I hope that we fulfill those expectations of all the problems you mentioned in our first question.
Thank you for guiding us.
Thank you.
So, gentlemen, those videos were inspiring. Greg, what did you think? What was your takeaway from them?
So, Max, I think the most important thing is when we started this business, we had a thing that we didn't want to kind of give up on called client happiness over scale. So a big part of us starting this business was to bring back and maintain very high service levels for our clients, even if it came at an initial cost, and kind of we grew with our clients, so and brought in the trust based on technology and our system. So something we really kind of strive for within our client base is happiness over scale. So focusing on service, focusing on real return, focusing on value driven tasks. So it's nice to kind of sell a software business, but we don't have any salespeople in our business. We don't have one salesperson in our business, and we've largely grown through organic growth and kind of by word of mouth, and creating a product that is really fit for the market based on service to our growers, our exporters, our importers, our shipping line clients, our cold store clients, and service providers. So, you know, that kind of resonates a lot with me based on those client videos, is exactly, you know, highlighting that service trumps everything, and happiness of the client is more important than us scaling our business.
I'm smiling because I don't think I've heard that line before, about happiness of the client, because most businesses that you come across, it's all about the bottom line, isn't it? That bottom right-hand corner of the Excel spreadsheet, rather than actually making the client happy. So, Wian, what is the problem, or the problems that you've been looking to solve for your current or your future clients? And I know we sort of highlighted it with the videos with those clients, but what's your view as to what is the problems that you're trying to solve for everyone out there?
Max, I think just to make it really simple, is anyone who has a fresh look on the fresh produce export market, or where fruit is going around the world, like, I guarantee you they'd be absolutely shocked by how complex it is. It's not an easy thing to move fruit from, you know, orchard in the northern parts of South Africa to a European retailer. You know, it's a perishable product where the quality can be impacted, and the lead times and the delivery times of those shipments obviously sometimes take 4 weeks before they get in front of the customer. So if you understand how tricky that is and how dislocated supply chains have become, you start realizing how valuable data is to make informed decisions, and real-time live data, not data that's outdated. You know, you need to make decisions instantly, because the impact of that can have huge impacts on the bottom line, on the profitability of our clients. And I think that's what we do at AgrigateOne, is we work to strive to integrate data sets across the supply chain, so that we can aggregate that information into one place where users can have that information at their fingertips. And then on top of that, we provide the workflows to be able to respond to the data that's coming through into the platform.
Well done. And finally, someone's actually written a book in the sector about fresh produce. Fresh produce, for those who aren't aware, turns over something in the region of 400 billion US globally. And you have these different seasonalities. As Wian said, it's hugely complex, the whole supply chain element. So if a product, a service can be deployed, such as AgrigateOne, to drive the efficiencies in this supply chain area, it's going to be absolutely key. Greg, just go to the nuts and bolts. What sectors, commodities do you operate in, and what locations, please?
So Max, I'm going to answer this in a non-tech way. So I'm going to answer it where we really exist and do have clients. You know, so we have fully functioning clients. I mean, if I answered it in a tech way, where we operate currently, we operate in over 200 target regions. So But in a realistic way, we are generally in Southern Africa. So in your Southern Africa countries, we East Africa. We busy investigating Queensland now in Australia with some soft citrus. We looking at some work in Chile as well as Peru with some limes. We're busy chatting to some avocado suppliers that are based in South America and South throughout. And then we operate obviously in Europe with a lot of the importers there too. Look, I think also we work with ports. We work with obviously, as Wian said, is we aggregate different data points. So clients are not only growers and buyers. Clients are third-party logistics service providers, are shipping lines. We also work with rail providers in Southern Africa too. So, we've got quite a vast kind of client base. We've got a nice growing client base in Asia too now, predominantly Southeast Asia. We've got a small client base in the East Indian Oceans. Our big kind of European markets are generally Germany and the Netherlands at the moment. And then obviously the UK is also growing, and we've got some really nice clients in the UK too.
Yeah, excellent. So, and what's nice about you is that you're beyond the toddler, teenage stage of a business growing up. You're safe, secure, because as we've discussed on some other broadcasts, there's a big rush of tech companies coming into this area, but there's also been a number of failures, and that's not going to be AgrigateOne. So growers, whether you be based in Southern Africa or Europe or Australasia or America, you can be rest assured that AgrigateOne is going to be here for the long term. Wian, am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely, Max. That's our intention. We've got some great partners that we've worked with that have provided us with the capital we need to follow through on our vision. And it's exactly that sort of long-term philosophy that I think our clients really enjoy. If you work with a citrus farmer, they know that the orchards that they plant or the trees that they plant are only really starting to make money after 7 to 9 years. So it's quite nice from our business, as we definitely don't want to be a fly-by-night startup business. We 3 to 4 years down the track now, and we've got the right traction, but it's definitely, we're here for the long-term game. And I think, like you said earlier, then, the more effort you put in and the more honest you are and the harder you work, the later you'll reap the rewards.
Yeah.
And that's sort of our approach with all of this.
Yeah, but as I said at the beginning of our intro, we're very selective as to who we want to broadcast with, and from what we've seen, and also the direct recommendations that we've had about AgrigateOne from some of your grower base within South Africa, who we love. That's why we were keen to get you on. But we all know what farmers and growers are like internationally, and they'll be asking me or yourself or the trade in general, why are you the best solution for what they're looking for? Greg, come on, why are you the best solution?
I think because we're honest, Max, we're a very honest solution. We 80% of our team is made up of farmers' kids, but very niche. We've got our data science and computer science team that are really good. We focus very hard on hiring really good engineering with very analytical backgrounds. So we don't have many generalists in the business. Our ops team are generally agri-economists, top of their class agri-economists from different institutions. So, we place a very high emphasis on the quality of people we hire, and then that rolls out into the quality of the product we deliver. We are exceptionally honest to our clients in what we can and can't deliver. We will tell them if we can't offer something that doesn't exist in the platform, or we'll tell them that it does sit on our current tech roadmap or product roadmap and where it looks at fitting in. So, I think we've had a very different approach, being farmers, farming families or farming kids, and understanding, how much is actually out there, and the relevance of technology, being able to fit that relevance into an actual need back on the farm or in the retail space, from a stock out or lead time into your shelf space, with produce moving 12 months or moving throughout the value chain. And then you've got all these kind of additional assumptions you have to factor in where, breakages, strikes, ports, congestion in ports, you know, and that's we take that in, and we don't just release a commodity onto the platform. We do intense R&D on the commodity. We look at different areas, you know, across the world. So we look at the South American data, we look at the Egyptian data, we look at your Southern Africa data, and we look at how it fits in, and we understand the commodity. We understand how the stack sizes work. We understand the different compliance rules for that commodity for target region. We understand, you know, what trade lanes work well, what are the lead times of those trade lanes, and then we understand who the right partners are. So, you know, it's not just a, you know, this guy's got a lot of blueberries, let's just build a blueberry, add blueberries to the platform. It's like, no, let's go and research why we need to add blueberries and the relevance of adding blueberries to the platform, and what we can solve for by adding blueberries to the platform.
Well done, Greg. I've learned so much today, especially with your grow videos. So I'm going to revisit, because I love the passion that came through from there. Wian, what I'm really getting from today, my takeaways is the credibility that you've got, as we stated, as Greg has stated, because of your background. You're not just a tech firm that's decided to invade this area and have got a big marketing budget. You actually love and live and breathe this area. You've got the data. Information is power. You've got that data credibility. And also, I think what is really key in this area is three things: transparency, visibility, and trust. We really need that in that sector, and that really comes across. And I love your farming values that you've all got. It's like a Snoopy cartoon. You're a bunch of farming kids that have done good and looking to do good ongoing. But you have that global focus, and you have that commodity area that you're looking to expand on. Yeah, have I missed anything out there?
No, Max, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It's the thing that we always go by is we want to empower our clients with data, like we said earlier, so that they can make better decision making. And that landscape of trust that we want to build all comes through accountability and visibility. And that's the thing, when you build a global platform and you can give a fresh produce importer in China access to what a supplier packhouse is doing in South Africa, and that information can be shared and they're looking at the same information, then better decisions can be made, more trust can be built, and a standardization of the whole process can be built to make everything more efficient. And I think that sort of sums us up in a nutshell. And if you want to break it down into numbers, a fresh produce farmer prides himself on the quality of his product, and how disappointing it is when, you know, fresh produce claims on the quality of that fruit comes through. It's always a devastating thing on the farmer side, and we see it a lot. And the data that we provide actually gives almost an audit trail of exactly how that fruit has moved through the supply chain and how that can be used, you know, to look at where there are challenges, where there are problems, where things went wrong. And at the end of the day, if we can save a bit of money for farmers who have those claim issues, I think that's the key part of the platform as well.
Well done. So just one specific question I've just had in on WhatsApp, on the basis that you're going to get more and more traction. One thing that we've picked up about this sector of tech is onboarding, that a number of companies are very happy to get people signed up and take their money, but the onboarding side can be quite weak. What's it like, Greg, with yourself? If someone's going to sign up with AgrigateOne, how do you onboard them for the short and the long term, please?
So I think most importantly, Max, we obviously set up some time with the company and understand their digital strategy and align it with ours. So are we aligned as a business? Are we looking to achieve the same outcome at the end of this? And then once we start the onboarding, it's relatively easy. So we generally do the work. So we set up some technical kind of assessments with their current technology providers and understand their landscape. And then we do the onboarding, and then we actually ask for verification. So we don't let our clients do the onboarding. We do it from an understanding point of view, and then we push the data back for them to validate. So it's a very easy onboarding process. It's very frictionless, and yeah, it's relatively quick depending on the size of the business. So, you know, it can range from a day to 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love I'm going to use the analogy of holding hands. You'll hold the hand of a new grower, of a new farmer, and see them all the way through the process, because it doesn't seem to get talked about, and that's one thing that I just wanted to reassure people with AgrigateOne, that you help them through the process. You don't just take them on as a new account and leave them to it. You're there for the long term. Wian, would I be correct on that as well?
Yeah, absolutely, Max. I think you and I have had that conversation before, but no matter how good your technology is, people buy from people, and people want to be able to speak to people at the end of the day. And I think that's our key focus area. Is sometimes technology and software can be daunting for businesses, and the change management process is very difficult, and we want to be there every step of the way to build those relationships. And I think the key thing that Greg mentioned earlier is just we want to understand the problems that our clients are facing, and we want to listen. And through that feedback, we can build better technology solutions that our clients can use to make them more effective. And just to automate a lot of the workflow and the manual processes involved in exporting and producing fruit.
Well done. So, gentlemen, before we wrap up, how can we get in contact with you? How can we find out more about AgrigateOne? How can we engage with you? Greg?
So you can visit our website, is www.aggregateone.com, or you can send us an email at info@aggregateone.com. Or you can and ask for myself or Wian directly. Generally, we like to get back to you the same day, or within a few minutes of kind of coming in touch with us and hearing your story and having an actual chat on the phone generally, and then taking it from there.
AgrigateOne, true to their roots. I think this is a very important business in our sectors and one to watch out for. And if you're in a specific area of production that you need the assistance of the likes of AgrigateOne, get in contact with them. They're here for the long term. You're here for the long term. They're going to help you to take your business through to the next step. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time, and we wish you all the very best for the future.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you, Max.
Thank you.